When I was going through the depths of this crisis, I was a single mom raising two kids, and every day after school, we would get home just as every hustle and bustle life of many of your listeners here. And I'd let in the dog, and the dog would track mud paw prints all throughout the house. And it was this moment of my day that would just, everything that I tried to hold together all day, it would just come unfurled in that moment. And so I said, in order to stop this, I need to build a dog pen. And out of nowhere, men started showing up to help me build this dog pen. And at the base of it, we were laying concrete so the dog wouldn't come in with muddy paws. The very last person to leave that day was a man by the name of Elton Best. And at the end of the project, we're hot, we're sweaty, we're exhausted, and we need parts. So we jump into his green truck and we start rumbling down the brick street of this little tiny town I lived in Illinois. And I am losing it. How can I thank all of these people? Everybody just keeps coming out and helping me, and they're helping me, and I don't know what to do, and how can I thank them? I can never thank them, but I've got all these thank yous to write, and I have this going on next week, and the kids have got that event. And without warning, hard enough to get my attention, but not hard enough to injure me, he slammed on his brakes. And he looked at me, and I knew I had done something wrong. There was just fierceness in his eyes, and he said, "How dare you?" And I said, what did I do? He said, "How dare you?" He said, "You think I'm here helping you for you?" He said, "You're stealing my blessing right now. I am here to try to bless you and to bless myself and to have joy in what I'm doing." And he said, "You're sitting over there stealing it. Stop it." Elton and that brick street and that green truck that day changed how I look at the gift of time, energy, and acumen that people share. I realized that I had gone through much of my life stealing others' blessings, and I needed to make a change and to allow people to help with not only my life, but the new vision that was forming for that life. When I came onto this planet, remember I said I'm now living my life because I have a lot of debts to repay. Debts like Elton, the man who helped me build that dog pen. But it goes way before that. When I was born to a mother who was incarcerated. She was incarcerated for prostitution. I am the product of a prostitute encounter. And so when I came to this world, I was immediately taken as a ward of the state of Kansas. And life after that, of course, was just nothing but turmoil, nothing but violence and turmoil. By the time I land on a farm in South Central Kansas to a foster family, every horror that could happen to a child had already happened to me. And then I landed at the home of the woman I now call my mom in South Central Kansas. And it was there. I was raised on a 50-acre farm. And if we ate what we grew. We were so poor, completely under the poverty line in this country. She would go on to adopt a total of 5 children on a teacher's salary, a single parent, much of that time. And if we didn't grow it or kill it, we didn't eat it. I didn't buy my first clothing for myself. I didn't have a choice in the clothing I wore until I was a freshman in high school, and I spent my own money on it. Everything came from garage sales. But on that farm is where I learned compassion. I learned strength. I learned intensity, that everything there was possible if you worked hard enough, if you tried hard enough. And we were givers, even though we had nothing to give. But there was always extra vegetables from the garden. There was always extra meat from the cattle that we were using as our food. So we were giving, even though we were dirt poor. So being raised in a rural Midwest environment created all of the inner skills I needed to do what I do today. I travel all over the world. We work in the deep, deep rural areas. I can look at a woman who is living in poverty in one of our countries, and I can help her milk her goat. And that's the one thing we have in common.
Wow.